Hello, my name is Kelvin, and I'll be presenting on the entrepreneur that I've picked, which is John Pierpont Morgan. John was born in the year 1837 on April 17. He worked in his father's bank in London before moving to New York, and he began his career as an accountant in 1857 in a banking firm called Sherman and Company. He was a graduate of Boston English High School and went to Europe learning French and German, and also obtained a degree in arts. John Pierpont Morgan entrepreneurship. Now, before we dive in, let's talk about what is entrepreneurship. It means identifying opportunities, marshalling resources, taking financial and organizational risks to build new ventures or reshaping industries. Now, Morgan as an entrepreneur used financial capitals, networks, and firm building to reorganize railroads and form industrial conglomerates. Lastly, it's also about strategic building, cultivating relationship that enhances your influence and provide mutual benefits. Now, JP Morgan as an overview. JP Morgan and Co., which is a major commercial and investment banking, financing, railroads, steels, and utilities. Their mission role is to stabilize capital markets, organize large firms to enable scale through consolidation. Now, in the late 19th to the 20th century, there was a rapid industrialization, railroad expansion, loose regulatory environment, absence of strong central banking until later on. Morgan as an entrepreneur used financial capital networks and firm building to reorganize railroads and form industrial conglomerates. And last but not least, is also about financial aid to businesses. JP Morgan offers resources for entrepreneurs to thrive, including tools for business planning, research, and stories to help them optimize operation growth. Now we'll be talking about America's influence on the success of it. As the American economy became the world's largest economy, right? JP Morgan, along with the US peers, benefited from this position, facilitating trade and investment globally. Influence on the global market. JP Morgan influence on the global market is a direct result of its positioning within the US system, financial system. Its research and analysis of global geopolitical and economic threats, particularly those impacting US policy, are used to guide investments decision worldwide. The dollar role as reserve currency. The US dominance over the primary reserve currency has made a firm like JP Morgan, with its extensive dollar dominated assets and transactions, immensely powerful and profitable. This is the major drive of the firm's global operation and revenue. Now, the success characteristic of JP Morgan is that he was a very visionary person and strategic as well. He had the ability to think very big. Secondly, he was effective with people. He was a strong communicator and worked with others to build successful businesses. Lastly, he was a business acumen. He was skilled at reorganizing failing companies, especially making railroads. Now, his characteristic of course led to the success of JP Morgan, which is the first one is economic development. JP Morgan has supported many US businesses and economic growth by providing them loans, investments, and services. Secondly, is financial stability. The firm's largest resources and strong risk management help keep the financial system stable. Lastly, research and analysis. JP Morgan Research offers useful insight that help investors and policymakers make better economic decisions. Now we're talking about the contribution to American economy. The first one is the industrial colonization. Merged numerous companies into large consolidation corporations. Secondly, formation of major companies. He assembled the first world billion-dollar business corporation, which is the US Steel. He helped establish General Electric and International Harvesters. And lastly, which is financial stabilization. As mentioned before, he has given loans. He also loaned over $60 million to the US government of the gold supply to save the gold supply. When the market crashed, John actually gathered world's top financiers to his home to all combine their wealth to invest back into failing banks to prevent financial system from collapsing. Now, the contribute to America's social impact was that philanthropy in arts and education. Morgan supported arts and culture through major donations and museums. He donated land and funds for institutions such as the Morgan Library and Museum in New York. Infrastructure and development, industrial. Morgan banking shaped the US railroad and steel industries, boosting job cities and transport. Morgan helped stabilize the US economy by financing the government during crisis. And lastly, legacy of institutional support. Morgan's philanthropy set an example for wealthy Americans to support public causes. America's contribution to finance. Now, JP Morgan modernized banking and investment. He founded JP Morgan, one of the most powerful investment banking today. He built firms, railroads, and set standards for the US corporate management. Morgan promoted investment banking to fund big industries. Secondly, stabilized the US financial system. During the panic of 1907, He united bankers to save banks from failing. Before the Federal Reserve, Morgan acted like a central bank, restoring public trust in finance. He supported the US government, loaning $65 million in gold to the US Treasury to stabilize the dollar growth and to prevent a national default. His intervention restored investors' confidence in the US government during a financial crisis. The conclusion of JP Morgan is JP Morgan's legacy is a complex. He shaped modern American capitalism but faced criticism for his power. Morgan created stability by organizing major industries like railroad and steel. However, he was also seen as a robber baron for concentrating too much power. That's all. Thank you very much.